today's social world, everyone are hiring bloggers, content writers, right?
Yep.
So most of the executives or the business owners, they wanted to hire for the lead generation. They wanted to blog and get attention to the right audience and then
Yes.
interact. So in this case, my two questions. Everyone will not have that leeway. For example, if I'm not a small business owner, how do I create some content? Do you have some tool tips? That is one thing. Second thing, how do I understand a person he has real knowledge or someone has created a block to him? So how do I judge person before I accept?
Okay, the first question is, how do I, as a business, create content if perhaps you don't have the budget to go and hire people to create the content for you? Okay, if you don't have the budget, and you don't necessarily have to have a ton of expertise, but you have to have the baseline writing capabilities. You have to be able to communicate at a basic level, right? Because what you don't want is, if you don't have the communication skill, let's say and let's assume we're using English, the English language. Let's say your English is not very good. Create the content, but at least put it through some sort of editing process so that it comes out, because you're publishing it to the world. So even if you don't have the budget to go get content creators, at least ensure that the material that you create has hit a basic professional level. Because if it does not, you're going to do yourself a disservice. It's actually going to have a negative impact, not no impact, a negative impact. Because naturally people will look at the content, and the badly worded information, the typos, the grammar is going to have an impact on your business brand. Even if you're not, offering copywriting services, it is going to impact the brand. So it's very important to have some sort of editing function to review the material. At the basic level, I think if you're creating content for your business and you're a small business, start with the simplest things. You are here to solve a problem. Your business exists to provide a service, and you are working to solve that problem. What is that problem? And so you might want to have some content out there that highlights what that service is and how you do things and what is unique about the way in which you do it. And you can do that through a case study. So you can walk people through a case study. So you can share a story about a particular client. It can be a fictitious client. You don't have to mention the client's name, but you can tell a story of a client, talk about the issues that they were facing, set some context by sharing some background information about the client, what they're facing, what they're hoping to achieve, talk about the problem, then talk about the solution that's being offered and why you are offering that particular solution, how that solution relates to the problem, connect the ideas and create that context so that the reader can understand. And one thing that sometimes happens is that when we're so deep in our space and our subject matter area, we think that everybody else is, but they're not. So remember, when we create content that is going to be published on our website or a blog or on social media, is that we're going to have all kinds of readers coming to our content. If, say, for example, a medical pharmaceutical, you want to explain jargon, you want to keep things easy for any kind of reader to understand, and you want to connect the dots that you already have connected in your mind so that anyone who's reading the content can understand, okay, that's why they're doing this. So you want to be able to do that when you create the content so that anybody reading it can find value. And the reason for that also is because sometimes people may know other people, and they'll see that content and they may not have a need for your services. Now that they understand the issue and they understand how you resolve the problem, it may give them an idea about, oh, I have a friend of mine and she was having this issue, and I'll tell them about you. So content works for you 24/7. Once you've created it and you've done a good job with it, it can continue to support you throughout. So that's what I would do if I was a small business.
Excellent. How do you identify the right people? Because the blogs might be written by someone else. So how do you judge?
You check a couple of things. So you'll check the blog. You'll not look at just one piece of content. So you'll look at a couple of pieces of content and see if you can find the consistency and alignment. Then you'll check the other copy that's on the website, because sometimes the blog and the website are on the same platform, but then they might have different people writing for the website, and you'll pick things up. If it's not holistically, done, then you will pick it up. And then you'll look at the social media, and you'll look at the social media of the leaders as well. And if you do look across all of these aspects, if you find everything is in alignment, then there's a good chance that everything will be good. But then you'll also see, the face-to-face interactions will also be useful if you
Excellent.
get that opportunity.